All right, we're in business. All right, guys. So welcome to this Talkback live session here with the Merc and Chosen One. I'm actually broadcasting on Talkback here because this actually involves Talkback because I've actually started transitioning, as I said, like some weeks ago, some months ago actually, transitioning Talkback over to the curator page. So the circle is almost complete. It's almost complete. You know, it's true. It's almost complete. Okay, but close to being complete. Like we're not quite there yet, but we're getting there. Obviously, look, starting off this thing with Chosen One, I saw some very tasty footage. I don't want to actually say too much, but I saw some tasty footage. Do you want to talk
Mm,
about it, or you don't really want to talk about it, really?
uh, don't have much to speak on yet, so no.
All right, all right. So being a bit, being modest. Anyway, so let's get into this situation here. So first things first, talk back involved. All right, look, let me actually move this thing away from my face. I'm actually scared of this whole COVID situation now because, guys are just dropping like flies all over the place.
What do you mean
Telling
dropping like flies? What do you mean?
guys are catching it, guys are clocking out of the game.
I mean, I had it in January. Wake Ups had it. I know.
No, but you
Um,
see, that's the thing. I thought I had it in January,
no, I did.
but do you wait? Do you know you had it?
Yes, I had. I did the antibody testing about 4 weeks ago.
Oh, you did,
hmm
and then you have antibodies.
Well, yeah. Once you get it, you have the antibodies.
So that means I should go and do antibody test, right?
I would recommend that. Yes.
All right. So I'm
I
gonna go
mean,
and do
it's
that.
it's not really going to make a bit of difference, but I mean, at least you'll know for sure whether or not you had it.
So you had it in. So you were sick in January,
Oh yeah, I was down a whole week, 7 days.
man. I was down for 2 weeks in January, man. I was a
Oh,
dead dog.
look,
Dead dog.
I have never been that sick in my life, and it's not
Oh no, I
even.
have though.
No. I've
Yeah.
never been that sick. And the thing was, it's not even. It wasn't, not to get too much into it, but basically, all the symptoms that they say COVID or the common COVID catchers have. I didn't have any of that. The issue for me was just weakness. Like I would take
Oh,
5 steps and then I'd be dead. I'd be down. I couldn't.
oh
I had.
man,
I had.
I had all the the thing is I don't know if it was COVID. I just have to check, but I did have it in January. That's for sure. It was like mid January. I had it right.
Mhm,
Whatever it
mhm.
was that I had cough, ridiculous aches and pains, like ridiculous
Yeah, yeah.
in my back and my body, and then I was sweating,
Mhm,
sweating, sweating.
mhm,
And the thing that I did not have, I didn't have any sore throats.
mhm.
I didn't have a cold. I wasn't sneezing or anything. I just
Yep.
had a cough, bad aches and pains, and I was weak. I couldn't move.
Yeah,
I was just
I
like I was tired. Like just all the I was just
yeah,
tired all the
that's
time.
it. That's it. That's what I had. I didn't have a cough though. I didn't have
No, I
cough
had a cough. Yeah, yeah.
and I didn't have trouble breathing either. It was just the aches and pains. That's it. That killed me.
So then, what made you get antibody tests,
I mean, just curious.
and how much did that cost you?
My healthcare covered it.
All right. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna go and have that just to find out what the game is, to find out if the Merc is, you know, the Merc's carrying those antibodies. Anyway,
But it was also weird too because I was in contact with like 4 or 5 people during that week, and none of them got sick.
have
I
they
don't know.
got antibody tests?
Well, no. Well, I don't think. Actually, I don't know. Honestly, don't know.
Yeah,
But
so
I just
then therefore they were just maybe asymptomatic.
probably.
Do you know how many millions of people are asymptomatic with this thing?
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
imagine?
for sure.
Oh my goodness, there's so many people who've had this thing and that didn't even get sick. Millions.
They don't even know. Yeah.
They don't even know, but they're passing it on though.
Yep.
That's
Well,
the messed up part.
during that incubation period, yes.
Yeah,
That's
during the incubation, you're passing it on.
yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, look, let me throw this in there. Let me get this thing on show on the road. So, Talkback, where it's evolved, and when I say evolved, as we've been talking about over the last couple of months, I'm just taking things in a more structured direction. As you can see, are you looking at my screen?
Yes.
You see that little fancy little piece of work over there on the top right hand corner?
Yep.
It's pretty, pretty sharp, isn't it?
I like it.
Yeah, well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. So basically, I'm doing like a whole set of different things, right? So this is going to be the live. We're going to have some lives, and the question is going to be how the lives are going to be structured. So there's actually a possibility that I might be doing morning shows. I like the idea of morning shows because, just the idea of like having talkback radio. When we used to do talkback radio, right?
Yep.
But even when we're doing talkback radio, which was great, I enjoyed talkback radio. I don't think it was as regular. Yes, Infinity's Limits, the old school. I'm bringing it back. This is the old logo. We're going to bring everything back. Minus Have Hope. Have Hope is doing his thing. But that being said, I feel like I just have to make a decision on whether to do morning shows. I actually like the idea of morning shows. The only difficulty about it is that when you're doing morning shows is obviously it's the content, it's like what you're talking about. The way the media and entertainment is right now, nothing is really happening, really, like there's dribs and drabs, blah, blah, blah. Everything is delayed. So there really isn't that much to talk about. So if we were doing morning shows, the question would be, what would the subject matter be? And Infinities, what is the sound quality like? Is the sound, am I echoing? Is there any issues? Just type in the comments if there are any issues with the sound, because I'm trying some new technology here. So there's that, but I'm definitely also going to be doing the what do you call it? Talkback classics. That's for sure. So I'm going to be making those, but those are things that I'm just going to make. They're not things that you'll be doing live. I'd be releasing the videos whenever they're ready. Each of those videos are ready. You know what I mean? Right. So what I'm thinking of is like releasing a Talkback classic video every week, like one a week to begin with. I mean, there might be one every 2 weeks later on, but to begin with, like one Talkback classic video a week, which are like the movies that, I think are Talkback classic. Like they're just classic, the movies that every Talkback freed mind needs to watch, So we're not going to be doing Citizen Kane and all that sort of stuff. We're doing RoboCop, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future 1 and 2, the real deal movies, not like, bloody, what do they call it? Sunset Boulevard, all that sort of stuff, So what I'm thinking of is doing that once a week, and then and now the question I'm going to ask you, and this is a question that probably people should put in the comments as well, answer in the comments, is that, do we want to do a radio show, weekly morning radio show, so like Monday to Friday in the mornings, an hour in the mornings, like a radio show, but it's a podcast obviously, so you can listen in live or listen in later, or a bumper edition on Sundays, bumper radio show or podcast, like, live, and then leave it to just that, and then having the classic videos coming in, once a week as well. So you'd get a classic video, a Talkback Classics movie video, and then you'd get the live show on Sundays. That's the question. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, my vote would be for the latter, but the issue is, what are your goals? I think I heard you say 100,000 subscribers in 6 months. I
Yeah,
think
no,
it.
I mean, I want to get, yes,
I
exactly.
think.
Yes.
I think. I mean, if that is the goal, um, I think you will probably need more than that. We need to. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to hear other people's thoughts on it, but I think that's a very that is a that's a tough goal. I think not tough, but it's a goal that I think it's going to require some more work personally. I don't
What
know.
is going
I
to
don't,
require more work is getting that to that goal of 100K.
in 6 months, I think.
Man, you can get to 100K in 1 month. It just depends on if you get the right video. It could
Mm,
take you a month, you know. I mean, there are people who've done it, is what I mean. Like there are guys. It's just if you get lucky and one of your videos resonates or one of your
mhm.
broadcasts resonates, you do that in 1 week. I mean, not 1 week might be a bit extreme, but like within 4 weeks, like you can easily get 100,000 followers. But it's just obviously the odds of you getting a video like that isn't high.
Okay, so what's the structure of the actual radio show? What will we be discussing?
That's the question. You see, now that is the reason why I said I wanted to have this head to head, is that I then have to decide what the structure is because there isn't a lot of new news going on. You
Hmm.
know, there isn't that much new news. So a lot of the things are going to be discussing what little dribs and drabs there are that's happening.
Hmm.
So then the show is going to have to be about pre-existing material.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what else is that? Like, what else? I mean, if you're going to have something that is consistent and you're getting the shows coming every day, you know, you can obviously look at what the news is saying, you know, as far as like the latest information on stuff. But I think for the way that Talkback operates, like Talkback always operated, which is why I think that Talkback Classics is good, is that we're not like a news show. You know, it's like we're not like a news show. Like we're guys. We try to put ideas out there, philosophies, thoughts, concepts, theories, hypotheses, you know, free a couple of minds and have real, true, in depth conversations. Like the idea of just doing something where you're coming to us to get the news, it's like, nah, you can go somewhere else for that, you know? So
Mm,
that doesn't really excite me that much. What I actually do like talking about is obviously, you know, obviously if there were new things coming out, but also just the philosophy behind movies and entertainment, people's own material. So, for example, if you're making something, people are making something that's original. I'm very interested in that sort of business as well. But anyway, just give your view on like where you would like things to go. I'm going to just step to grab something, but I want you to just carry it for a couple of minutes. Where would you like
okay.
things to go?
I mean, I'd like to have, submissions honestly from different members, I'd like to hear more from, you know, Have Hope, Phantom of Hope. I'd like all of the old school guys to come back and sort of reconvene and give their opinions on things. And to be honest, I think if that happens, um, there really won't be a shortage of material ever. I mean, if within these limit, you can verify this. I don't know if you go back, in time in your mind, man. There was always something to talk about on the boards. There was never a dull moment. And if someone had to disappear for a week or 10 days or 2 weeks, there were 8 to 10 people who would pick up the torch and just keep rolling until that person came back, and then someone else maybe took it. There was never a dull moment on Talkback. Now, one of the things that I think drove the website was not I think, but one of the things I know drove the website was the different personalities of each member. I know that
True,
there
true,
were
true.
I know there are some members that don't get along with others. I know there are
Yes.
some that are on the outs with certain members, but honestly, to be honest, in order to kickstart things, I think we need to let bygones be bygones, and that's myself included. And I
Wait a
think
minute.
we
Did,
need.
did, 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 did you ever have an issue with anybody?
Well, I'm not going to get into that here, but it's
Damn. Okay, okay, okay.
it's I think we just need to sort of call the banners and bring everybody back, because like you said, I mean, I'm looking at some YouTube and IG and all these personalities with hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're talking nonsense. So it's
I'm
just one of
telling you,
it's
listen, chosen.
I
That is the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying.
yeah.
I'm saying that, you're looking at it and you're thinking like, man, just because the two dons, the two kingpins left the game. In fact, they're not even two kingpins, we're like five, they were like a multitude of kingpins, left the game, and there was a vacuum. And I like what you said, because everybody, like, there were so many strong personalities. Like, you actually really understood. Like, Wake Up, you knew what he was like as a guy. Like, Wake Up had a real personality. Like, indubitably had his own personality. Phantom of Hope, well, we know Phantom of Hope. Have Hope, You, Chosen One, Darth Bishop, Danny Soprano, Bloody Joker.
Yep.
Like, there were so many of them. And even when I think about them, I remember what their personalities were. I remember what they liked. I remember their main things. So, and I think it's like we were starting something, and unfortunately we didn't just keep it pushing. We didn't keep it pushing. But I want to reignite that, because now, I'm a man of a certain age now. I'm old, And when I think back to the beginnings of Talkback, I was like, man, I was young, man. I had my hair, and I look at some of those videos and I'm like, damn, this was like 15 years ago. So I'm just like, I want to figure out the best format to bring people back. Bygones be bygones. It's easy for, listen, Hollywood Rape has been insulting me all over the insulting me all over the place. And I don't mind, it's fine. You guys are sending me videos that say, oh, look at what he said about you. I'm like, look, the only issue I have with some of the stuff on his channel is like some of the anti-Semitic things that I hear, and I'm like, you know what? I can't introduce that. Listen, I can't be a black guy. I can't be a black guy and be cool with that just because it's not about black people. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's just me being a clown. It's like I can't have somebody saying some of the stuff. I've watched some of those videos and I'm like, damn, man. I mean, is this necessary to be said? Like, why you can make your points without throwing those sort of lines in there, That's just me. So those are the kinds of things I would have an issue with. It's like, listen, if you want to come to Talkback, you can't be saying that sort of stuff. Because I know that I don't tolerate racism, So then if I don't tolerate that, I can't have people be anti-Jewish or anti-Asian or anti-gay or anti-whatever on the platform just because it's not applying to me. You see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. I'm just, well, again, I don't want you to get into what he said. It's just, I'm curious.
I don't want to get in. No, because listen, it's okay. So I'll summer. Okay, go on.
The reason I'm curious is because I had conversations with him in the past, and it's one of those things where he's well aware of racism and sexism and all of that. We've had discussions before. So it's like, it's like,
no, you see now, but that's the thing. But you see, look, I don't want to say what happened because I look, somebody sent me a video where he said some things that's, if I told you, you're just like, man, why, why? I mean, but you see, look, who cares? Okay, because the truth is that all I care about is that I don't want that in Talkback. That's it. So it's like, listen, you can do. I'm not one of those people who's going to come who's like, say, no, I don't even agree with all the cancel thing or whatever. The guy, you can have your own views. If you want to be a Klansman, be a Klansman. If you want to be anti-Semitic, be anti-Semitic, but just not in my house. Okay.
All right.
So that's really the issue for me. And I'm just telling you for a fact that some of the things that get said there should not be taught. Like, you can't have that in our place. And I think overall, going forward, Talkback, that is something that's important to me because, listen, Hollywood is always welcome in Talkback as long as he cleans up his act. You're always welcome. Like, the guy has been in Talkback for over a decade. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, this guy's been on Talkback for over a decade. So it's like, look, at the end of the day, man, I respect his fandom, his fanship.
Yeah,
I respect his fanship.
He actually, there was hearing where.
Sorry? Hello?
me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, what did you say? No, you're off again. I think
Okay,
this
so
is your
your
connection. It's
audio
not
was
my
going out.
connection.
Infinity's limited. Okay, Infinity, we're gonna find out right now. Infinity's limit. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Anyone in the chat room?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you now. You're back.
Okay, well, again, we're trying to figure out where the problem is. So I want
Yeah,
to
because do you
get,
know why you can
I want the
tell
control
from
group.
the yeah, you can tell from the icon on
Well,
the screen.
the reason,
Look at the icon on the
well, the
screen.
reason
You see
I'm
that?
asking is because, yeah, I understand. What I'm saying is
Okay, go
when
on.
you were talking, your audio was cutting out. That's what
Oh,
I'm
right,
saying.
right.
Your
Okay.
audio is actually dropping out. So I'm trying to figure out whether or not I'm coming through clear or you're the one that the connection is getting disrupted. But anyway, no, like you were saying, that there was a point where Hollywood Ray was actually carrying the entire torch for Talkback. He was the one doing the
No, no,
radio
yeah, no,
show.
like, yeah, no, listen, talk Hollywood is like, so the thing about Hollywood for me, and I don't know if he's even going to hear this, is like, listen, man, I have no issue with this guy on a guy to guy level, you know, like, because I respect what he did for Talkback. It's like, this guy like you said, there was a point when he was carrying Talkback.
Yeah.
Like literally, because there was at least a 3 or 4 month period where me and
Yes.
Half Hope were doing things, and I was trapped. There was a lot of stuff going on with me. I mean, you probably know with my career and everything. So there was a lot of stuff going on where he was literally doing the shows.
Yep.
You know, so the way I look at it is that, listen, I don't agree with some of the things that go on his thing, but that's his thing. When you now bring that over to Talkback, then it becomes a problem, because I'm just like, listen, man, you can't be coming on and then trying to take over the show and shouting, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna deal with that. Like, it's messing up the whole vibe.
No, I understand. I understand.
Basically, yeah. So I mean, no, definitely, I'm not. Oh man, listen, I'm not one of those people that take that sort of thing for granted. Like, if you're a true Talkback guy, you've been like Indubitably. Indubitably is one of the biggest. That guy's legendary in Talkback. Like, the kind of stuff that guy did for Talk, like in the heyday, is huge. Darth Bishop, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it doesn't matter what differences anybody may or may not have down the line. I just have to respect that there were guys at key moments that were big deals. Infinity's, obviously, I mean, Infinity's limit, I think, was much closer to Have Hope than me because of their gaming. You know, they do a lot of PlayStation and all that sort of stuff. You know, so they are like way more connected than me. But from my side of the fence, like, I remember everybody. So I'm just saying that, listen, going forward, trying to take this thing into the future, is that a lot of us are older guys now. Like, Talkback, the Talkback core started when we were all like in our 20s and teens. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was in my early 20s when I started Talkback. Like, you know, now I'm an old man. So we're like, it's a different phase. And I think that, guys, we need to be more mature about the way that we do this, because should we do this properly, there's a lot of new people that are going to come in who don't know the history. They don't know the history. So they'll just be looking at us and comparing Talkback to all these other guys that are here now, not realizing that we were around so much longer, and we started this whole thing of this commentary on media and on films and media. Like, we were the ones who really started doing that. When I say commentary, you know, you had Angry Joe, who was really like more structured reviews.
Yeah.
We were the first people who were doing like that editorial style commentary on just what the hell is going on in fandom, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, I still think that there is a unique angle to how we do things. And that's the reason why we attract a particular kind of person. Like, even listening to this show now and how we're talking now, you don't get this sort of flavor anywhere else. You just don't. So
Nope.
we've got to be responsible as adults, you know? And like you said, I don't even have a hatchet to bury, because I have nothing against anybody. I don't really. I mean, there were some guys who did some clownish things. There was one dude, I can't even remember what his name was, who tried to create an alternate Talkback and tried to take people from Talkback over to his own page. Can't remember what this guy's name was. I really don't. Do you remember that?
I do. I don't remember the guy's name though.
Oh man, and it caused a big issue, because I then ended up having an argument with Half Hope about it, because Half Hope was friendly with him. It just, you see, but the thing is, that was back then. Now I don't have an issue. It's like I was young back then, so I was like probably more sensitive to those sorts of things, you know. But now I'm like, no, man. And in fact, like once the ball gets rolling, the Senate is going to come back one day, you know. I just don't want to bring the Senate back while I'm trying to establish the curator platform. Once I've established the curator platform, I'm going to bring the Senate back in connection with that, because I do think that we need to have a place for people to just talk trash.
Yeah.
I think that we just have to have that. So that being backed up and powered by a validated review app, I think is a good thing. Let me even throw that up here. I think is a good thing. But I think that we need to establish the app first, and like, which is what I said, that getting to the 100,000 benchmark of people on Talkback, I think will then allow us to say that, listen, if you're on Talkback, at least download the thing, get a profile on there, so that when we then get the Senate up and running, people have a profile on Curator. You see what I'm saying? And then you can just transition that directly into the thing, and then we have a community. Because my goal is like, when I looked at, and listen, I'm going to say, man, look, I was impressed with your footage. Okay, that was impressive footage, you know, because a lot of people flap their lips and they talk and talk and talk, and then when they produce the footage isn't that good. But you produce top quality footage. It was actually quite short. So, I mean, I don't know whether the whole thing is top quality, but the footage I saw was top quality footage, you know. So my thing is, yeah, you can say thanks, Merc. You know, I really appreciate, you know.
I do. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, but seriously. So what I think though is that, so when I see things like that, right, I'm just thinking to myself that, man, you know, it would have been really good if I'd already built something whereby guys who are able to produce quality material, whether it's comics, graphic novels, little short films, cartoons, or whatever, I actually have a quality community that I can just plug that stuff into and get it energized. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of these guys, you know, you take them for granted. Like, there are a lot of fans who are rich. They're guys who are businessmen, they're oil people, they're bankers, they're accountants, they're whatever. You know what I'm saying? So there is no telling the kinds of things we could produce down the line once you get the community going.
Yes.
And everybody believes in each other, you know? Because based on what I do, I'm willing to put my resources behind somebody I believe in. If I feel like this guy's got good quality stuff, you know, I'm willing to put some of my stuff behind that. Just from knowing them on Talkback. Throwing Chicken has worked with me on actual projects in my real career. And I found Throwing Chicken on Talkback. He's worked with me multiple times.
Good.
Because the guy's talented, you know? So it's really a case of like, I think it's just that decision that we've got to make. You know, like you said, maybe I do have to do the morning show, you know, for a few months at least. Maybe I've got to start that way to get the engine running and then transition to a once a week thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to get the engine running. It's going to be challenging for me because I almost would need help. It's like I would need somebody to almost collate information and just say, look, send me the latest news. Just send me the latest news. And then I'll talk about it in the morning. But every evening, just give me, even if you're subscribed to somewhere or whatever, just give me what the latest news is. And I'll talk about it in the mornings, based on my own take. You know what I'm saying? Like my own flavor to it. So I'm not going to just do it based on news. We're actually going to talk about how it impacts fandom or what. So we'll just do that maybe for a while, because I think doing an hour in the mornings for me isn't that big a deal. You know, you wake up in the morning, it's part of your routine. It's a radio show, you do it 1 hour in the morning, you're good to go. What's good about that is that people can then stick to your schedule and they know that you're going to be on in the mornings at a particular time. You see what I'm saying? Let's just run through this because I have something very important to say. Anyway, that's Talkback Evolved. I'm going to probably, this is going to be really quick, like 5 seconds. Basically, I haven't got time to game. I have no time. Like PS5 and Xbox Series X, I've been hearing about it. I've been seeing people in the airports with boxes and buying, these things and traveling to different states and different countries to get a PS5 and blah, blah, yada, 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 whatever, yeah. But I haven't had time. Though I would say that the PS5, in my opinion, looks a bit crazy. It looks a little crazy to me. You know, I can't say that I really like the design per se. You know, it'll grow on me probably, but I prefer the Xbox Series X look because that is something that would just fit anyway. It's nondescript. Yeah. But games wise, obviously PS5, you know, with the Miles Morales thing, which I have issues with that whole Miles Morales situation, but you know, that's a whole other story. You know, they've got some decent exclusives. And Xbox Series X is dealing a lot more with ports, like dealing with a lot of games that need to be played on multiple systems, as opposed to things that are specifically designed for that. However, I think what it's going to come down to is games. You know, it's what games you want to play. And I've always said that Xbox Live was far superior to PlayStation Network. Like Xbox Live, I haven't been on Xbox Live since Xbox 360 because I completely missed out Xbox One. I never had one. Xbox Live is like way better to find people to play with, to game, to set up teams and groups and everything. Is just way more straightforward. I never really got into the PlayStation version of that. But I would just say that, you know, look, during the times of COVID and quarantining and isolation, games are going through the roof. I mean, through the roof. I mean, these people are going to make a killing. I mean, like, if there was a time to release a console, this is like gold dust. Christmas during the pandemic. You know? I don't know, man. I mean, you know, that's just my thing with it. Infinity is saying that, let me see, what's it saying? Xbox bought Bethesda. Sorry, let me see. Xbox bought Bethesda. That might be a game changer for them. Yeah, well, you know, it depends on who's developing the games. You know, I mean, yeah, they might buy. Look at what EA does whenever they buy a company and just destroy the brands that company had, or just kill all the games. Like, it really depends on the ethos that Microsoft has, you know, in what they're doing. You know, how about you? Do you have anything to say on this?
Just, you know, echoing what you said, I just don't have time for games right now. So I mean, I want the PS5, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's no skin off my back if I have to wait 6 months to get it, because I can't really play any games right now.
Yeah, no, I don't have time. Yeah.
Yep.
Mandalorian season 2, episode 4. It's over.
Oh yeah, it's done. It's done.
It's over. It's over. I just watched it before this broadcast. It's finished. Yeah. I don't even know why I'm going to watch episode 5.
Yeah, I had that exact same feeling when I finished the episode. Like, I said, no, that's it.
I'm like, nah, yeah, this is just this. This is. It's a video game. Infinities. I know Infinities Limit is in here. Infinities. The Mandalorian, because I know you're the gamer. The Mandalorian is a video game. It's a video game. Guys, remember, if you're listening on Talkback, join the Curator page. It's the Curator Reports on YouTube. That's what you need to go to, because I'm not going to be broadcasting consistently on the Talkback channel. So I can see you guys are listening on the Talkback channel. Make sure you go and like and subscribe on the Curator Reports page. Okay, Curator with a Q, Urator. Yeah, listen. This episode was actually the worst episode of the season. I mean, am I exaggerating, or like, am I crazy? Or
no, not at all. It failed on so many levels. I knew it's really a shame, because I believe Carl Weathers directed this episode.
He did. Yeah, no, I was like, man,
it's just.
It's not his fault, though. It's the story. I mean, the directing didn't have anything to do with the issue.
Well, okay. I don't know if I agree.
No, tell me where. What aspect of the directing had any impact? Like, the story is what the story is.
Okay, fine, but this is where I need. This is actually good that you're here, because I think that you would have more insight on this than I do. But when we're talking about creating or setting the mood of a scene, or creating or making sure that an actor has the proper mannerisms, or that they're responding to a piece of dialogue in the correct way, giving them direction, whose shoulders does that fall on?
No, of course the director, but
Okay,
the issue that then, but then there is also a limit on what you can do based on the actor or actress you're working with. So
I
there's a
understand.
limit. There's a point you get to where you're like, there's nothing you can do. Like this is they are at their max. You know.
Okay. Um, here's the thing. This show is so polluted that I am willing to give Carl Weathers the benefit of, listen, I hate saying this, okay, because Weathers is my guy, but I'm willing to forego the errors that the plentiful errors that I saw in this episode. But at the same time, the doubt is there because I've seen these same actors give even better performances in lesser in other episodes. Let's put it, look, this thing was a mess. Okay, I don't even know where to begin. This whole I don't know what has happened to this show. I
What are you
really
talking
don't.
about? You're talking about the episode or the whole thing as a whole. What are you talking about now?
Well, we're talking this episode sort of it caps off all of the fears and worries
Oh
that we
yeah, no,
talked
no, no.
about,
Listen.
and
Now I'm like, I don't know where they're going now. Like I'm just
I
like, this is like, I
I
don't know where
just
they, I'm lost. I'm completely lost. I don't know. I think I know who the villain is supposed to be, but why he's the. I don't. It's so. It's a tough one, man, because I feel bad because the production quality hasn't dipped. Like the production quality is still
okay, but
great,
but but see, this is
But
what, okay, listen, what you just said verbatim is what people were saying about Game of Thrones. Okay, exactly. The
what did
production
they say?
quality, the production quality is so high. The production quality is so
Yeah, no,
that's
no,
the
we know, yeah, no, we know that. But I'm just like, I'm saying, I'm not giving them a pass off for that reason. So Game
no,
of
I
Thrones guys might have been giving them a pass. I'm not giving them a pass. I'm not giving them a pass. I'm just saying that, the situation that you got here is that, mates, in spite of how good the production value is, how top quality it is, and the special effects, and ooh, ooh, ooh. Basically, yeah. You, you. It's now just there's no point anymore. It's like I can't make any more excuses. Listen, this is the way I'm looking at it now. I'm like, I now cannot believe this is what they're doing. That's where I'm at now. I'm like, wow, after all that and like all the anticipation, you know, this is what they're doing. I mean, listen, I'm looking at that. As soon as they were talking, right? You remember when they went in there and then they were like, what did they say again? What did they say? Oh man, I'm forgetting the word. Yeah, when they went in there and then the woman said, he asked them for help for repairs. And then she said, yeah, but we've got this thing. I was like,
yep,
oh my
yep,
God.
yep.
Oh my God. I was like, this is your opportunity for you to go there for repairs and then advance the story with those other characters you've already developed and have them reintegrated into the narrative in a meaningful way. All they were there for was to give him a task. That's it.
I just don't.
They were just there to give him a task, and then he finishes it, and then he flies off. I'm like, listen,
And
I am so, and listen, all Baby Yoda does is be cute. He was very cute in this episode. It was very funny. I laughed a lot, but you know,
you did.
I did. Especially
I
during the wire thing
I
with the
didn't
two
laugh once.
wires.
No, that's not funny. I
No,
didn't
no,
laugh
I
once.
I laughed at the two
No,
wires thing
no,
because the
no,
thing about the two wires,
no,
like I found it
no,
funny. Okay.
no. See, you're the problem. You're the problem.
Wait a minute.
You.
How am I a problem when I'm saying that is
No, no,
no
no.
excuse?
I said you are the problem, not a
Yeah, but
problem.
okay. I am the problem How am I the problem when I do not use? I say that is
No, no, no,
unacceptable
no,
as
no,
an
no,
excuse.
no, no.
I
Listen,
might laugh at it, but I'm like, I'm not saying that this is excuse. This excuses what's going on. You know, that's not what I'm
okay,
saying.
I was,
Whoa, whoa, you broke up a bit.
here's
Hello,
the
man. Hello.
I feel that the Rusty and Infinity's Limit. Who
Yeah, you're
is my
back now. You're back now. You're back. Yeah, it was just we're just sounding glitchy.
okay? Um, I feel that this episode probably had some of the worst acting in the corniest lines I've ever heard in a television show ever. I mean,
Gina
the way.
Carano is not an actress, though.
Well, it's
Like,
not. But see, listen. We know she's a problem, but let's just be
yeah,
honest
yeah,
and
okay.
talk about everything else. Even the lines that Carl Weathers was delivering, it's like, I mean, you were threatening your driver with cutting off. You only take 100 years off of your sentence, or I'll
Yeah,
take
no, I know
50.
it was.
It's like, and then
That's the dialogue. That's the
okay, so
dialogue.
who's
It's the script. That's the writing. It's not them. He didn't cause that. That's what they put in the script. I actually thought that was ridiculous. I'm like, you know that he threatened the driver 3 times with years off his sentence versus and the carbonite thing 3 times. I'm
yes,
like, you can't use the same thing
but
3 times. Like, I'll
and
take 100 off. I'll take 30 more years off. Do you
I'm
want to go
just
back in carbonites? I'm just like, come on, man.
and why
I mean, come on.
and when we're talking about things that make sense, why would you trust someone that shaky with being your driver to begin with?
Why
I
would you
don't.
listen? I was actually thinking this. I was thinking that as well. I was like, why is this guy with you? Why are you even having this? Who is this guy? Like, what? And the thing is, this guy is a nobody. He doesn't mean anything to the story. He doesn't
So
mean anything to anything. You just
no,
brought him back from another episode for the sake of bringing him back, just to be a What did he add to this Like, nothing. So I'm like, listen, I don't know what to say.
I
I mean, like, that's the bottom line. I don't know what to say. You know.
the only thing I can think of is that they're introducing these characters like the Dino Lizards and just to sell toys. I guess I don't know. I just I
Wait,
so
Dino
now
lizards. What lizards? What?
for episode 2, the tadpole amphibian frog creature.
Oh, that frog thing. Right, right.
So I just I don't know. I feel that so now we know what the motivation behind Gus Fring's character is. Okay, so now he wants to create his own Jedi army, right? So now we know what that is, and now that links to Rayverse with the cloning of Palpatine, right? Because I assume it's via the same method. So at this point,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The same method that they did what with Palpatine?
I assume it's the same method or relatively the same method of cloning a Jedi because
Okay.
okay, and when forget the actor's name, the scientist with the mad scientist guy, when he was in the hologram projection, he said he ran out of blood or something about an M count, right? We know what the
Yeah, yeah.
M
No,
count.
no. I'm saying that. How does this connect to Palpatine? Is what I mean. Like, how do
Okay,
you get that link?
Palpatine cloned himself, right? How did he return?
Yeah, but Palpatine did that with some weird Jedi realm thing. He did that when in some alternate
There were wires.
interdimensional.
No, there were wires
No,
attached.
man. Oh, no, 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 no. He did
Well,
some
listen.
interdimensional crap when they threw him into that. When Vader threw him into that thing, he did some interdimensional. Like, there was some, like, I don't know what it was called, but he was in this space
Okay.
between. Oh, look. Do you know
Okay,
what the
look,
truth is? Let me tell you
well,
this.
hold on. Let me just before I. Okay,
All
look,
right.
you fine. That's my listen. I skimmed the movie, so I may have missed something. Okay, but it's just one of those things where it's like a good friend of mine pointed out a point or said something that I think, and she was spot on. Star Wars only exists in the original trilogy. Anything outside of that, this is all fan fiction. This is all fan fiction. The sequels, the prequels, the Mandalorian.
The
This.
prequels can't be fan fiction because that came from the guy who made it. So anything George
Well,
Lucas makes is Star Wars. Now, I mean, you can't get away from that. If he made, it's like you making something and then somebody telling you that other things you made attached to it isn't can. I'm like, no, well, it's your thing. The
well,
prequels, whether we like it or not, are can like that is Star Wars. whether we like it or not.
I
It's
don't
the
know.
guy who, it's his own thing. How are you going to tell the man who created Star Wars that, oh, the things you made, we don't like those ones, so they're not part of Star Wars? Come on, man.
Well, I mean,
Got to get real
didn't
with that.
Lucas come out with didn't Lucas come out with the statement that he's saying he was making the prequels for look, I don't know. Like he said he was making it for a different audience now. He said he's doing it for I don't know, man. I feel that it was different. His goals and motivations were different with the prequels than they were for the original trilogy. And if that's the case, maybe okay, fine. Maybe I can't say it's fan fiction because it came from the guy who created it, but there has to be some sort of qualifier or separator here because I just it's not the same. That's just me. I don't know. I just feel that all of this, especially like what's coming out next, like the Kenobi television show, and
Yeah,
I
man.
just
I
you
listen.
know I just
I
don't.
don't know. I mean, it's very unfortunate because listen, a lot of people are on the platform because of the Mandalorian. I mean, that show is bringing a lot of people. So
It's
for
not
you
gonna
to
last.
not, yeah. So if you don't sort this out, like that's a lot of people that just won't care anymore. Like, I mean, I feel so weird about this because it was going well, and I thought that there's no way that you're going to keep going in this. How are you halfway through second season and it's still mission of the week? I don't understand that. How are we still on mission of the week? I think somebody needs to explain that to me. You know, Rossi Shackleford is asking, is he trying to make evil Jedi and have dark troopers, or would they be the same? I think it's the same, man. I think he's like trying to create dark troopers that have also Jedi powers. No, you know what the crazy thing is? This is what I was thinking when I saw that scene, right? Check this out, right? So when I saw that scene, I was saying that, you know what? None of this even matters because we know that all of this has to be changed to the first order. And Snoke has to come in.
Well, I mean, I thought weren't they trying to sort of redo
If
that?
they
I
were
mean,
redoing it, then why are they? Listen, then you've got to tell us that. I don't
well,
understand what is going on. Like, I'm just like, listen, I'm just being real here, okay? And you know that I'm a fan of the Mandalorian TV show. You know this. I've said it
yeah.
millions, 100 times. So I'm somebody who is trying everything to give this the benefit of the doubt, like every angle, because I actually am a fan of the show.
Mm.
So then I was like, I don't even know how to make any more excuses because I'm looking at this and I'm like, it's looking like you said with the Palpatine thing, it's looking like they're connecting it to the sequels. That's what it's looking like. And I'm just like, if that's what you're doing, then this is all just a waste of time.
Yep.
Because everything that you're going to say, we know it's all for naught. Like, we know it's all just, the first one are just going to, but we know it's all going to end up with Snoke, who is a nobody. And with that, whatever that guy, that Gleason dude played, I don't know what his name was. Whoever that's a First Order, Supremely, whatever the hell it was. Listen, yo, you know what, Chosen One, let me let you in on a little secret, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe how badly this has been stuffed up. Like the whole French, I can't understand it.
Mm.
I'm so confused. I'm like, how? And even when you get like another chance, like this show is the new opportunity to take things to save things. You know that I was watching this last episode, and at a point I was like, this might as well be this woman's show. I was like, it might as well be. Like that second half, up before Mandalorian comes back with his ship to save them,
Mm-hmm.
that is what she should be doing. The person who comes in at the last minute shouldn't be the main character. After they finish killing everybody, doing all of that, I'm like, I was actually watching it and thinking that, wait a minute, where's the Mandalorian?
I just,
Like,
I
where is
mean,
it?
I hear what you're saying, and I mean, I didn't really have a problem with that, but I get what you mean. That just sort of breaks the rules. But at the same time, I just, at that, I just
I'm
didn't care. I didn't care. I just
I
didn't
mean,
care.
you can break the rules, but I think you have to have established your lead guy in such a way that when we're watching somebody else, we're not thinking like this is a it's a two-hander show. The way that it's looking is like it's like a two-hander. Whenever she's in this episode, it feels like it's just a two-hand. Like she's so ridiculously capable. She is never beaten. Did you see how she just killed it? Watch this episode that we just watched. She had no trouble doing anything. She had no trouble doing it. So when you do that and you have a lead character who has trouble with literally with almost everything he does, which is fine. I actually like that, right? But when you have
I,
that,
hmm,
I like it to a degree. I like it because
no.
it shows. So when he kills people, it makes me feel like there is more effort behind it. It's not just this. You see the way it started being when there were three of them going into that fortress, how the stormtroopers are like just toys. They're just killing them like do you know what it was? It was like the Blade Trinity effect. Remember that what happened in Blade Trinity where we watched two films where killing vampires was bloody difficult.
Mhm.
And then you get to Blade Trinity and this woman is killing vampires with her iPod in.
Ay.
Like she puts headphones and was listening to iPod and killing vampires. They were killing vampires like it was nothing in Blade Trinity. So what I'm saying is that when you do that, it completely destroys the credibility of everything else around it. So when I next see Mandalorian struggling, all that is going on in the back of my mind is that, man, if she was there, this wouldn't even be an issue.
Mm.
That's all I'm thinking. And listen, this is not even a feminine male female thing. This is just characters. If she was a man, I would think the same thing. I'll be like, he might as well be the main character. They would never do that with a guy because if there was a man, they would know that this is going to screw up the main character. That's why they would never do that. Like, just because it's like if you had another guy who every time he came in, this guy was just dispatching people. He never lost a fight. He punched the Mandalorian in his head and his feet went up. Heels first, by the way.
See,
Heels first.
this is why I am sort of on the opposite end of the spectrum where you
Heels
said that
first, man.
when you say that you like seeing that I feel that Mando should
No.
be
Wait. What do I like seeing? I don't like seeing his heels coming up into the air.
no you
when
said no wait you said that you don't mind seeing him I'm paraphrasing here when struggling to see that I actually don't like I when I see this guy I should see Batman. I should see John Wick. This guy should. No one should be able to touch this guy, or close to no one is what I should say.
John Wick.
I don't.
John Wick is too strong, though.
But this
John Wick is too strong.
But
so it's gotten John Wick by John Wick 3. It's silly now. I'm just like, this guy is too strong, man. Okay, go on.
Now we have to talk about proper levels here because should Mando be able to go up?
Do you know that I've watched all the John Wicks in the cinema? Like I watched all of those films in the cinema. You know that?
Okay, so
Sorry, go on. Sorry, go on.
Back to the Mandalorian. Is Mando equipped to go up against a trained Jedi?
Hell no! Are you mad?
So what about Gina Carano, his character?
No, she'll kill the Jedi easily.
Okay, then the conversation is over. Okay,
listen, no, Chosen, I'm going to ask you a question. Chosen, I'm going to ask you a question. Man. Do you think that Gina Carano's character in this show would lose to a Jedi, especially if the Jedi is a guy?
There's no way to any man. So I just can't. I just can't, man.
So what I'm saying is that you've screwed up the whole balance of things. It's like this is not about gender. It's just about. Do you know what the crazy part is? If the Mandalorian was female, it would probably be getting done better because they wouldn't have this pressure of making sure that she isn't subjugating female characters because she'd be a woman herself. So in a weird kind of way, when I look at this, I'm like, you know what? They might as well have just made the show about a female Mandalorian. They might as well, because then at least you would end. Listen, I don't think that would have worked, because what you would have ended up with is a Rey situation where she would have just been overpowered. Like she
Yep.
would just have like no weaknesses. And so it's weird. It's like, because it's a man, they've given him all these flaws. But to the point whereby you now introduce these female characters. Like, I'm looking at Gina Carano's character and I'm saying that, you know what, man? Let's be honest. This is between you and me. What is this kind of character for? Like, who is the audience for this? Is it the male audience? But the male audience don't typically go for that type of character. Like, men are not going to identify with that character. It's interesting, but you're not going to identify with the character. Then you say, okay, look, is it for the female audience? But like a large percentage of the female audience, are they going to identify with a brutish, aggressive, thuggish female character? Maybe. Listen, I could be wrong, but I'm just trying to think, like, when I look at these sort of things, I'm trying to figure out that who is the target demographic for this, because you're trying to balance characters against characters. So we have Mandalorian. We know who that's for. It's guys. I mean, that's a boy's character, hands down, obviously. Lone Ranger, Clint Eastwood type, tough guy with the pistols, the guns. It's a guy's thing. We know that. Baby Yoda I feel, is actually very much for females, the female audience.
100%.
I mean, when I look at the fans online, such a large percentage of them are women.
Yep.
Who are like Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda. It's like I like Baby Yoda a lot as well, but I feel like that is who that character is really appealing to. When I see Gina Carano's character, I'm just like, what? Who is this? Like, what is your target? Because you've already taken care of the guys with Mandalorian. You've taken care of the woman with Baby Yoda. If you want to have a female character, why would you make the female character a man? But that's what they've basically created. It's like her sensibilities, the way she acts, everything that she does, like, oh, she might as well just be a guy, Like, what's the difference between her and like any of the soldiers he's met? She's tougher than them. Forget even being the same. Like, she's tougher than all of them. Like, so when I'm looking at this, I'm like, so what's the point? It's like, you might as well, this is what I'm trying to say. She might as well be the main character. If you're going to do that, you might as well just roll them into one, make her the Mandalorian, make her the lead character, and just go with it that way.
It won't be successful.
I mean, fine, but I'm just saying, like, I just want to make the point that I'm not against female leads or female characters at all. I just think that you just got to do it the right way. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying that, listen, if you want to go in that direction and make this very masculine, tough, rugged, I'm like, you might as well just make her the lead, because you can't be doing the same thing with both of them. When they clash, he just gets trashed. He gets completely beaten. Then you've screwed up the main character for the sake of somebody who isn't the main character. The only way that sort of thing would work, if they're both tough guys or tough people, tough people, I should say, is there is obviously a equation of, so basically there is no way she can beat him. Like, when she goes up against him, what is more interesting is that he just realizes that, oh, she's not a pushover. She realized that, okay, look, I'm good, but I'm not beating this guy. That's the way that you do this, so that there's like a mutual respect. So he can respect. So for us as the audience, he's like, listen, we know the Mandalorian could beat her, but she's a formidable opponent. And he didn't go all the way because of ethics. Then it works. Because you've created this Batman, like you said, this Batman type cat. It's like, listen, if you have Batman and Catwoman comes and beats the living daylight out of Batman, to the point that Batman is like, listen, if this fight keeps going, she's going to kill this guy. That is basically what Mandalorian v that lady was last season. I was like, if nobody comes and stops this, he's dead. She's just going to kill him. Like, hands down. Listen, I'm going to stop here because I just want to. She trashed Mandalorian, and Mandalorian has full Beskar armor on. and she has no armor. She's fighting in bare fists. Do you know how crazy that is? She's punching this guy's helmet and he's flying.
Okay.
No, I mean just think about that.
I mean, I don't.
This is
I
when
don't.
no. Chosen. Wait. This is when guys are so excited that they forget that the rules that they put into their own thing. You're telling me that a guy who is wearing armor that deflects shots and blaster fire, people can shoot at this guy at point blank range and it deflects off him. He can withstand explosions with this armor. You're telling me that that person gets punched by a woman bare fists and he flies. She shouldn't break her fists. He shouldn't just look at her and say, look, what are you doing? You know what I'm wearing here? Do you know that this best scar? What are you doing? That's a very dumb thing to try and punch me in the helmet. Are you mad? No. Listen, Chosen, that's your own rules. I'm using your own rules. You've shown me armor that is basically impregnable. How the hell does somebody punch that armor with bare fists and doesn't break their hand, let alone send you flying? I mean, I'm just being, I'm just being real. Like, I just feel like guys need to be realistic about their own rules. And when you have a situation like that, it pulls me out of the thing. I was watching it and I'm like, okay, look, what the hell is going on here? You know what happens? Your brain just switches off. Like that whole fight in this last episode during the fortress, when they were shooting through the fortress, my brain just shut down because I was like, look, nobody's going to get killed here. Nobody's going to get injured here. Like nothing's going to happen today. I'm like, okay, let's just get through this so we can just move on to the next action sequence and I'm frustrated because I care, I mean, I care because subconsciously I'm trying not to care about Star Wars, but I can't help myself. It's terrible. But yeah, look, how many episodes are there in the season?
I think it's 8. I'm not sure though. But yeah, I think I'm done. I think I'm done. I'm out, man. Rest in peace.
What is everybody saying? What is everybody else saying? Like, what's the consensus online? Because I haven't been paying attention to it.
I mean, I don't know the consensus. I only know the consensus within my inner circle, and they're all, I think one person said that they're noticing that the show's quality is dipping, and they're just going to wait until the end to binge watch it. And there's a girl I know who said she's out. I just.
Why did she say she's out?
She just doesn't care anymore.
And why doesn't she care? Like, what are her issues with it? I mean, so why isn't she on the show? Why do you bring her on the show if she's into this stuff?
I think she's working, but I mean, that's another thing. Once you get the shows up and running, and I assume we'll be able to do our own shows once it's up. We'll have a few guest stars in the works. We'll have a few because we definitely need more of the female perspective on here because we don't want just a bunch of guys talking about how to do a strong female character and our problems with the strong female character. We gotta have some women involved too. Like I said, all of the women I talk to, they're talking like us right now. So again, I don't know where this.
Yeah, no, I mean, but where are they? Because I mean, where are these? Because I don't know a lot of ladies who are into this stuff personally. So I'd like to talk to women who are into this thing so I can hear their perspective. Because this is just this is just getting out of line, and I'm just like. Listen, like I said, I am speaking. Listen, I wasn't a fan of Force Awakens. Like I said, Force Awakens was terrible. I was out after Force Awakens. It's Phantom of Hope that forced me to go and watch Last Jedi. I tried to walk out of Last Jedi and then he pulled me back from walking out of the cinema. Listen, you think it's a joke. I'm going to tell you what happened, right? So we're watching Last Jedi, which I didn't want to watch. So I'm in the cinema, right? And then it was the scene where Rey starts fighting Luke Skywalker. And then at a point, she puts Luke on his back. And as soon as I saw Luke on his back, I just got up. Listen, I was ready to leave. I was like, listen, okay, you've categorically, you've insulted me. You've insulted my childhood. You've insulted my entire lineage of fandom, you are now spitting in my face, slapping me in the face, and I'm paying you for it? I'm actually paying you for it. I was like, nah, I'm out. And I got up, and then Phantom of Hope was like, oh, no, 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 stay, you can't go, just, this is it, this is the last stand. It's the last stand, we're doing it for Luke, I was like, doing it for Luke. Luke is on his back. And as we know, that wasn't the end of the insults on Luke. Things got worse.
He said, he said we're doing it for Luke.
That is literally what Have Hope said. I mean, not Have Hope, Phantom of Hope. Have Hope doesn't care about Star Wars. He doesn't care about Star Wars. It's really me and Phantom of Hope, that Star Wars guys. And the guy was just like telling me that, and I was actually very annoyed about it, because the thing is, I wouldn't have gone to watch Last Jedi if it wasn't for him. So I was angry because he boycotted Rise of Skywalker. And I'm like, you see, so you chose when you wanted to boycott, and you forced me to go and watch Last Jedi. And this film was the biggest disgrace. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, you know what's so funny? You're laughing, but it's true. It's like, if he did not do that, I was out.
Oh, my ribs hurt.
I was gonna go, man. And it was so funny. When I got up, my brain was already thinking of, I now have to catch the bus. It's gonna be cold. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get back to the house. And that's all that was going through my head. I was like, man, how am I gonna get back? Let me blow your mind. I'm gonna blow your mind here. And I don't know if I've talked about this before. No, I have, but it was in the middle of a big talk. Do you know that I was in so much shock in Last Jedi that we went home, and then I think the next day, Phantom of Hope or Have Hope, I think Phantom of Hope and Have Hope were talking about how they killed how Luke Skywalker died. They killed Luke Skywalker, and I said, what are you talking about? He said, yeah, you know how Luke Skywalker died. I said, what? Sorry, what? Did Luke died? What? He said, didn't you see at the end when Luke disappeared? My brain was so messed up that I saw that and my brain refused to accept it, said no. No, Chosen, I'm actually dead serious. It wasn't until they told me, then I was like, I know that my eyes saw that. But my brain, when the information went into my brain said, no. So I haven't even got anything more complicated to say than that. Just my brain just said, nah. So then I actually went home not realizing that Luke Skywalker had died because my brain refused to accept the information. I saw this information, I'm like, nah, my brain was like, nah, man, nah, we're not going to take that. That is how messed up this thing has been. So when I try to explain to people, I say, listen, man, when it comes to Star Wars, and this is why I said Talkback is important for me. Talkback has always been therapy, in the heyday of my fandom days before I got really busy in life. But there's nowhere else to even have these conversations. There's nowhere else to even have these conversations. Real, in-depth, serious conversations about how messed up some of these things are. Listen, man, let's not even start talking about Tenet, because I saw Tenet a few weeks ago. That's a whole other conversation, man. Have you seen that movie?
No interest.
Whoo, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Chris, man. Chris has taken it to the limits, man. I mean, that's a whole other conversation. So what I'm saying is that, you get yourself into a position now where I see The Mandalorian, and I'm glad I even put all of that out there, because that just shows how much weight The Mandalorian was for me. It was a big deal. So now that, and I didn't even want it to be a big deal. I didn't want it to be a big deal. I wanted to be checked out. I really did. I was like, I don't want to do this. And especially when I heard that it wasn't Boba Fett show, because I thought it was going to be a Boba Fett show. Then they said, no, it's not even Boba Fett. It's just some other guy. I was like, forget this. I'm not even going to watch it. Then I watched that season, and I'm like, in spite of what you were saying, everybody else was saying, you can go back to look, I defended the show.
Yes, you did.
I was 100% in. I'm like, listen, man, they did this for the first season so that this is just a foundation. Things are going to change, and we're now where we're at. So, mates, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know if I'm going. Obviously, I'm going to watch the remaining episodes. Obviously,
Mm.
but I think I am mentally checked out now because there's nothing compelling in the story for me. Nothing is compelling. Like, I just don't really care. Like, now I'm like, I don't. Baby Yoda hasn't done anything but be cute for this whole thing now. So he isn't even doing. I'm like, by now you'd think that you'd have some kind of inkling of like where he came from, who's looking for him, i.e., his own people, so on. Like some connection to the real, to Yoda would be. And listen, and also listen on the flip side, this episode actually emphasized the issue that I had with the missing Luke. Now it's glaring now. I'm like, where the hell is Luke Skywalker? There are bloody Star Destroyers floating through space. And Luke and Princess Leia, where the hell are you guys? There's a guy building a Jedi army of stormtroopers. Where the hell is Luke?
Look, again, this is all fan fiction, man. It's just
No, but no, but listen, even if it's fan fiction, this is fan fiction taken into account Return of the Jedi. It is. So if you're taking even just that movie into account, where the hell is Luke Skywalker when all of this is happening? This is a guy who, listen, let me tell you something. When a guy reaches the level of Luke as a Jedi, right, they know what's going on in the Force. You know that Darth Vader could just sense across time and space. So could the Emperor. Luke is now the biggest guy in town. So Luke doesn't realize that there's a guy called Moff Tarkin floating around with a dark saber, building a Jedi army with Baby Yoda.
I can't. I'm sorry, man. Look. I get what you're saying. Everything you're saying is correct, but it's like I'm not giving this thing any more my energy. I know that's depressing. I know that's Debbie Downer, and I know that's not. We're here to talk. We're here to engage. But just going through all of this, it's like I'm putting my energy into something that
what is your main franchise? Like, what's your main thing? Are you a main, like, my main thing was always Star Wars. What is your main thing?
I don't know if I have a main franchise.
Power Rangers, anime.
I mean, I've got things that I'm a fan of, but I would never say that it was my main friend. Well, I mean, Game of Thrones, probably the books anyway, not the show. But it's just that one.
So what I'm saying is that the death of Star Wars isn't that crushing for you. Basically, is what I'm trying to get at.
It's not. My thing is, it was dead already. It's like I've been to this funeral already, so I don't need to go again. So I mean. To me, it sounds like it was resurrected in season 1 of The Mandalorian for you. And for me, it wasn't. Clearly, you go back and listen to that radio show. I wasn't fooled. I said, nah, this isn't going to last. So I didn't get my hopes up. So I think maybe that's why I'm taking it better than you are. So it's just, I look, I just can't, man.
No, I mean, I guess the thing is, right, you're lucky because you were never a Star Wars guy, so you're lucky. I mean, Star Wars for me, I want to just say I'm a fan, and I think that this goes for Phantom of Hope as well. Like, at least both of us, we're not fans. Like, it's your life. Like, it's part of your life.
I get you.
So it's like it's just difficult to deal with all of this crap that's happening. It's like these people, the way, and also the disrespect as well. It's like they'll mess you up and then insult you for being upset about it and call you a man baby. And that you're whining and like this is just kids movies, and I'm just like, what are you? If they're just kids movies, like why are you pumping all this time and energy? Like, if that's all they are, why are you taking it so seriously? Why don't you just let us man babies just have our thing and do our thing? Why are you taking it that seriously? That's what I'm saying. So, like, Have Hope is Matrix. So that's really, and look, he's quit Matrix apparently. Allegedly, he said that he doesn't even care about Matrix 4.
He's smart.
Listen,
very smart.
That film, I'm very worried about that movie. I really am. I don't know what's going to happen with it because, apparently it's not even both of them doing it. It's just one of the Wachowskis doing it,
Mm.
and one of them isn't. So I'm just like, man, how is that going to work? I'm just like, oh.
No, I
Anyway,
don't
let's
think.
wrap it up.
Okay.
Look, it's okay. Anyway, so guys, I'm going to think about this show. I wanted to find out, I know that some new people have just come in. I wanted to find out what people thought about the format that we're going to use. So please leave comments on what you think what format you would prefer. It's possibly going to be a daily morning show, Monday to Friday, without any weekend show. And interspersed in that will be possibly a weekly Talkback Classics video. Possibly. No. Sorry. Let me flip that around. That will be bi-weekly, possibly. Now, if we do it the other way around, where we'll have a weekly Talkback Classics video and a weekly, every Sunday, bumper live show, which would be multiple hours, like it would just be, a real bumper live show, but only on Sunday, where we'll try and get few more people in. So if it's the daily thing, it's an hour in the morning, it'll be a morning show. Well, morning, depending on where you are, time zone wise. So the question is to people is like, what kind of format would be preferable? Because obviously, like I said, what I'm trying to do now is to consolidate Talkback and bring it back so that we all have a home for fandom and what we like discussing and debating. Because I think, as Chosen One said in the last episode, there really isn't anywhere. There really isn't anywhere. Like if you want to go somewhere, you can go to specific boards, for force.net or comingsoon.net. You might go there, but there's nowhere for like the real deal Holyfield. So I want to do this in stages, but I think I just want to hear from everybody what kind of format you think is the best format for this first push. I don't know, man, Chosen. I'm leaning towards the morning radio show, personally. Hour in the morning.
We could try it out, see how it goes. I just, got to lock down how you're going to do it, like your format, what you're going to talk about. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we can. I can try it. I'll just have to see how it goes and see if there's enough material daily. That's just a challenging thing. It's like, because the kind of topics that Talkback talks about isn't current affairs. Like we don't do current affairs. That's sort of why I'm worried about it, because I almost feel like, you know what? I think as we're talking now, it makes more sense to just do the videos. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's challenging because if you do a daily show, it's got to be current affairs. Like you've got to be just talking about what's in the news,
How do you feel about doing an episode commentary?
What's that?
So I don't know if you can do that, but basically it's sort of, it's almost like you're reacting to an episode, like an entire episode via, a YouTube video. Now there'd have to be breaks within the episode because you can't show, like, for example, the last episode of Mandalorian was about 40 minutes. I think like if we were to do an episode commentary with it like playing on the video with our commentary of the different parts, it would probably take us about 3 hours to get through. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, but you know what? I think we would get the video would get taken down.
But guess what I'm saying is there would need to be research involved because there are ways to do that. People are doing that on YouTube, and it's one of those,
I don't know how they're doing it. Yeah, you mean the trailer reaction type things and all that?
Yeah, but even the full episode reactions, like they're doing episode reactions of pretty much everything right now. But
wait a minute, while you can actually see the episode, you can actually see the episode on screen.
You can't show the entire episode. I believe there's legally or within the YouTube guidelines, you can only show a certain number of seconds, and then you have to jump it ahead and then show some more. It gets tricky. You can't show from beginning to end. You have to break it up in bits, is what I'm saying.
That might be too much work, man.
Okay, I'm just throwing ideas out there.
Yeah, no, that'll be really challenging because I know what you're saying, But then if we have to if we have to take it to that level of technical detail of like getting the
Yeah.
amount of seconds and oh man,
Well,
that would be a real challenge,
yeah. Yeah.
you know. However, you know what? Listen, let's say this coming week, we'll do the morning thing. We'll do it the way that any other radio show does it. Just talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. Whatever is going on in fandom, whatever is going on in fandom, you might bring it in. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that you just reserve like the first 10 minutes for like news, and then you then just talk about like what you think about, you reflect on whatever that news topic is, and talk about general stuff. Or like I say, maybe the Talkback Classics is the way. This is the way. You know what? That's the decision. I will make a Talkback Classic I'll make Talkback Classic videos, right? We will do a show at the end of on the Sunday, where part of the show will even be talking about the Talkback Classic that got released. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
That might work because then we have a good springboard, and I will never run out of topics because there are like 500 movies to deal with. I mean, well, not 500, but like there's a lot of movies to deal with. So we'll definitely have material. So each week, that is the way that we should do it, I think. Each week, there'll be a Talkback Classic video. And I'll try and release a Talkback Classic video at the same day every week. And then we will, so for example, maybe the Talkback Classic video will be released on a Saturday. And then the next day is the live show where we'll talk about the classic movie that the video was released on, and then whatever else is going on, in fandom.
Okay.
All right. Cool, man. All right, man. Cool. Well, keep us posted on when this movie, when this movie is coming out.
Will do.
I think everybody's interested. And everybody, guys, as you can see, the tracker at the bottom, get the app downloaded, because the app is going to be, yes, I am going to, Infinities, I am going to rewatch the movie. So whenever I do these videos, I actually rewatch the movie. I'm going to watch the movie again just to refresh my mind. And also I want to watch a lot of these classics again, because some of these movies I haven't actually seen since I was like a teenager. There's some films I haven't seen since I was like in my teens. I don't think I've seen Ghostbusters 1 in its entirety since I was in my late teens. I've seen Ghostbusters 2 many times. I mean, I've seen that like quite recently, not not that recently, but way more recently than Ghostbusters 1. So there's a lot of movies that are in my classics. Running Man, I haven't seen since I was 14 years old or 30. I haven't seen Running Man since I was an early teenager, So I am going to do that before the classic video. But the thing is that, guys, when I say the classic video, I'm making the classic video that I'll be putting out. So you're going to be able to watch the Talkback Classics, and then we're going to do the live show after that, where we'll talk about the Talkback Classic, and then whatever else has been going on, if there's anything else of interest. I think that that's probably the most sustainable way to do this, whereby more people can come in because there's a schedule and people can come in and do what they've got to do. Yeah, man. Cool. I will also, try and get some more of these new graphics and everything sorted out. And I have to actually do some investigation on what the best platform is for forums these days, because I know that things must have become so advanced now, as far as forum platforms, compared to what we had a decade ago. So I'm sure there must be some really, really good platforms we can use when the time comes. But I think the first thing I want to do is I want to twofold. I want 100,000 subscribers on the curator page, which is Talkback basically, but is sponsored by. So on this via Talkback show, I want 100,000 subscribers, and I want 100,000 users on. So I want all the people who are subscribed to be users on the application.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal. When we get there, all these movies that anything that you're bringing out is gravy, man. It's gravy. It's gravy. Because the kind of guys that we recruit are quality guys. So, there's not going to be a lot of dead weights, So I think by the time we get to that point, when you then have a material to put out there, imagine that. Like, if you have a piece of material that people want to support, and we say that, listen, everybody just chip in, throw a couple of dollars, in the pot for the artists. We're home and dry. Maybe we'll even start making talkback movies. Maybe. Anyway, all right, guys. So Monday, stay tuned for more information. But yes, that is the format that we'll be using. So stay tuned for information about the Talkback Classics video. Make sure you download the app Curator Movie app on Android or iOS, and get Curator, a great application for movie fans out there. You can communicate with each other, blah, 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 via reviews, validated reviews. So you have to pass the quiz before you can even leave a review or rating. And yeah, so hopefully, this is going to be the beginning of a new dawn. What are you up to for the rest of the weekend, my good chap?
Just work, man. Work.
Damn.
All work.
And you're still in Chicago, right?
DC. I'm not in Chicago.
Oh,
never been.
Who's in Chicago? God, there's somebody in Talkback person in Chicago. DC. Damn. Okay. Cool, man. Cool. Who did you vote for?
I voted for myself.
Wait a minute. No, seriously, who do you vote for?
I voted for myself.
No. Come on, man.
What do you want? I only have one answer.
God. You voted for Biden Harris, didn't you?
No, I did not.
Damn.
I guess that means I'm not black. But anyway, good talk.
Man. Anyway, all right. Look, I'm out of here. I don't even think I can even say Bayout Spielberg in anymore. I think Have Hope is right. I think I have to change the slogan. I don't know what I'm going to say now. Because, yeah. All right, guys. Stay true to the game. Later.
All right.